Ready, set. I have no introduction. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the show.
Dude, my introductions on my show are better than this. Holy crap.
I don't have any introduction. We just go straight to it.
Because nobody's going to ask how my ear's doing.
How is your ear
Oh, yeah.
doing?
Well, it has less wax in it than it did before.
That's a good thing, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Let me guess. The doctor is the one that cleared it up for you?
No. That's next week.
Ew.
That's next week. I have that much. So I'm on, what is it, D-Brox or whatever the hell it is.
Oh, I just gotta.
It's basically hydrogen peroxide in a bottle. In eardrop form.
I can almost like see your doctor like gonna say, "I'm gonna make a video for it and put it on the internet." You mind if I do that?
Well, I've already cleared out most of it for the D-Brox, so.
Yeah, but even still, I always see those videos. Of
The fun stuff is already gone.
Oh, poo! So he doesn't get to take out giant clumps of bloody.
No, that already landed in the sink. Anyway.
Oh boy! Before we turn to a bunch of geeks and talk about everything else, let's get to the wrestling.
Super Mario Odyssey has a cock block in it. Anyway,
the biggest. Anyway, let's talk about the shows this week. And actually, that's the shows. The news.
Well, should we get the obvious over with about the start of the WWE Fire Sale this year?
Well, let's see here. Two people that should have been gone a long time ago, and one person that's surprising have been let go. We're talking Summer Rae, Darren Young, and Emma, right?
Yeah, Darren and Summer. Everybody saw the writing on the wall. We knew that was happening. Emma was the shocker.
Yeah,
it was. However,
I have a question for you guys, though.
What is it?
Did anybody care about Summer Rae?
Not really.
Did anybody really care about Summer Rae? Because really, if you think, because one person on my Twitter feed said, just remember, she was the person that helped put over two of the biggest names in women's pro wrestling, that being Charlotte and Sasha Banks with the beautiful fierce females, the BFFs. And I'm sitting here going, she looked like the weak link between the three, in all honesty. I did not get her character. She reminded me too much of Kelly Kelly. Just to me she just didn't work. And I think the Mae Young Classic is kind of proving that I'm right.
Wouldn't be surprised, but here's the thing that some people are kind of wondering: why were they released? Well, in news reports, this whole thing was because Vince was having his usual budget meetings. It's part of the quarter that they had to go through to say, hey, let's go figure out to see what's going on. And unfortunately, two of them were on the chopping block, but the third one was actually for other reasons.
Yeah, I did hear about that one. The third one is rumored to have been sending a message to the talent, because the idea of this was that Emma was not very happy with the creative direction that people were going.
Yeah,
she was very vocal on Twitter.
She was very vocal on Twitter about it, which I can understand.
It is, and the funny part is that I was watching Wrestle Talk, and I think it was yesterday's episode. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway,
I thought it was this morning, but anyway.
Anyway, I forgot when it was, but who cares? I was watching the episode, and he did point out that Ollie pointed out to a tweet that she put out about how
she saw everyone else getting the opportunities when that she wasn't getting.
Yeah, she basically got shafted, and it almost seems like she definitely has heat for that. So in all actuality, it wasn't about Vince having that problem, although to be honest, he could have some kind of thing.
I don't think it was Vince. I really don't. I honestly think that and this is the biggest problem that I have with WWE. Now let's confirm something real quick. Summer Rae, Darren Young, and Emma, aren't they all on Raw?
Yep.
Or weren't they all on Raw, rather? I have to use past tense now. SmackDown doesn't seem to have the same problem as Raw does, and Raw seems to have an overpowerful creative team that does not that seems to think that they are better than the talent they are trying to push.
That's typically how it's been recently. Is that they always think that Raw is, of course, everyone points this out.
The
That
flagship.
Raw's the flagship, the A show, while SmackDown's the B show. But all honesty, because they consider themselves the B show, that they put forth more effort to try and outdo Raw. Although Raw does have some moments where they're actually holy shit moments. But
Well, I think Raw has more of the holy shit moments than SmackDown, but SmackDown is a lot more consistent.
That is
SmackDown
true.
actually puts together a good professional wrestling show,
they have a
whereas
better narrative.
yeah, whereas Raw is very flashy, um,
Flashy and over the top. It's the grand show.
With it's yeah. Well, I mean, I have no problem with the flagship show being the flagship show. It just needs to be more consistent. But the problem that I have is that to me, it means that that the creative staff has no respect for the talent that they're trying to put over. That's what it says to me. It doesn't sound like that there are any wrestlers or former professional wrestlers on the creative staff on Raw. And if they're using that to push a message, then the only reason why they didn't get rid of Nia Jax was very simple. She's related to The Rock, and they want to keep him happy as much as they can. Which from a business standpoint, I understand why they're doing that, but it pisses me off because basically certain people get a free pass and others
certain
don't.
people will survive because of their family lineage.
Not just family lineage, not just because of their family lineage, because otherwise, Rosie would get other stuff, or because Roman isn't getting the kind of push that Roman's not pushing the Anoa'i card. Okay.
True.
Roman doesn't need to push the Anoa'i card. I don't think his mentality is in the mindset of I want to be world champion. I think his mentality is that of they'll put me where they're going to put me. He doesn't act. I don't think he's had that aha moment like Dwayne Johnson did when he was getting booed all over the place.
Yeah,
and Dwayne was able to turn Rocky Maivia into The Rock and become the heel that he needed to be at that point in time, which is something too little too late that Roman Reigns can't take advantage of. We're trying a restart with that by bringing back the Shield, and then Roman Reigns got the mumps.
Yeah, and then fate intervened.
Yeah, fate intervened in such a way. However, I will say this, is that the fact that he's going to be out longer than the others kind of makes you go, how bad did he get sick?
Or how bad is his immune system is probably the better question.
Considering how long he's been
because everybody else is back. Bray Wyatt was on the house show.
Yeah,
even Bo Dallas was on Monday, although he did get his ass beat.
Bo! I actually saw something with Bo Dallas, the Good Brothers, and Elias. They were up in Brighton, and they got the entire arena to sing the beginning lyrics to Wonderwall. It was hilarious.
I would love to see that.
It was on Twitter. I forget who posted it. It might have been Brian Zane retweeting it or something like that, but it was hilarious. So yeah, either he is still sick, or they're trying to rest him for a particular comeback.
Well, the rumor is that he's going to be one of the people for Team Raw Survivor Series.
That would be my guess.
Because Team SmackDown's already been confirmed, but here's the rumor lined up for Raw. We already know it's Kurt Angle and Braun Strowman. The other rumored members are going to be Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And of course, the rumored fifth man for SmackDown will be AJ Styles to join Nakamura, Rude, Shane McMahon, and damn it, Randy Orton.
And Randy Orton.
Why do I get the feeling this is going to be an almost all heel? I mean, some of them are face.
No.
I said almost.
I was going to say, well, here's the thing. Braun Strowman's pretty much a babyface now.
Yes, that I know about.
Kurt Angle.
Strowman's a face. Angle's a babyface. Joe is Joe.
Joe. That's the thing. Joe is going to be Joe. People are going to cheer him no matter what he's going to do. It doesn't matter who it is. There's going to be Joe is going to kill you. Joe's going to kill you. Finn Balor is a babyface.
Although we like to see him go into a heel.
And technically, Roman's a babyface.
And technically, Roman's a babyface also. So it's an entire babyface team against.
Shane's technically a babyface.
Shane's technically a babyface.
Nakamura's a babyface.
There's rumors of him, but there are rumors of him turning heel.
Yeah, Nakamura's a babyface. Like Rude's a babyface for now. We know the turn is coming eventually.
Randy Orton is Randy Orton, and AJ Styles is AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like on SmackDown there's more personality because they're actually unique. While you got the general manager,
the strong man, the dude that should have been Universal Champion, and two other dudes. The guy that should be feuding with Roman Reigns, and the guy that has no personality.
Yeah.
At least
you have the general manager, the strong man, the guy, the demon, and.
We don't know if he's going to come out as the demon or is he going to come out as Motorcycle Jacket Balor Club dude. Because unless they're going to say put him in as the demon.
True.
It is Survivor Series. So that would kind of make sense, but at the same time,
But the thing is, I actually do like this plan of what they have in mind for the for each side. It's more like SmackDown just feels a lot more interesting because they actually have these guys that are not like, again, you got like these big strong guys, but you look at Team SmackDown and you think these are guys that have talent.
Now remember, if this Raw's team is not official yet, it'll probably be official by Monday, but this is just a rumor that's going around who's going to be members of Team Raw. Only Angle and Strowman are the two official ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But of course, the rumors have come out.
Yes, of course.
And
we also have to remember how Braun came back. Just remember, Braun
rising from a garbage truck.
Yes,
not the same truck.
But it wasn't the same truck. Remember, he was put into a white garbage truck in a different city. He came back out of a red garbage truck.
What, did he get transferred?
Yeah, so I'm going to probably paraphrase what Ollie Davis said. He was put into a white garbage truck at TLC to be carted off, only to get out of that truck, put himself into another into a red truck, cover himself in more garbage, have it be closed, and then carted into the arena so he can get out. Because wrestling.
Yep.
I was going to go with the anime reason of he got out the garbage truck and beat everyone around to the point where it turned blood red, then got back in.
God. Then I forgot the important thing. He was able to get a driver for the garbage truck.
That's where it goes back to the anime reasoning. He beat everyone bad. He spared the driver and pointed to the corpses of his friends, and the driver was forced to now drive the blood red truck back.
But here's the thing, though. Why is he why was he in the garbage to begin with? Couldn't he have just come out the door?
To fuck with Miz.
Fuck with Miz.
It's one of those things.
Speaking of the Miz, talk about a guy that has a fire lit under him.
Oh, you saw the promo he cut on Baron Corbin?
On Baron Corbin. Well, that was a Twitter promo. And
he cut another one?
Well, what was interesting about what had happened was, I guess, Corbin did a promo on Twitter.
Yeah, he did promo on Twitter and pretty much telling Miz to stay home with his wife.
Pregnant wife, yeah. Well, apparently the Miz decided to start with a promo on Twitter. I'm assuming it went on to Raw as well, based on what you're saying. But he was driving and doing a promo while driving, and how he was pissed. I mean, or at least he was portraying the image that he was pissed about this. You know, I mean, he ended it off with the "you talk about my wife again, and I'll break your ass" or something like that. I mean, he was genuine. It looked like he was
It looked like he
genuinely
was
pissed at
generally
Baron Corbin.
angry at Corbin. Like, the fuck's this kid talking?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you could say the fuck's this kid talking, because you're talking about the Miz, who still looks like he's 20 years old.
Well, I think
And
the
you
Miz
can't
looked at I think the Miz was thinking Baron Corbin was the kid, which I guess
Well, I guess
technically is.
we are talking about. Who would have thought that I would utter these words, that the Miz is the veteran in this case? He just looks like somebody you want to punch in the face is all. That he's got that face that's just so punchable that you want it to cave in with every punch that you throw at him. But
which is true, but you gotta admit, he knows how to talk.
And really, you got to thank Daniel Bryan for that. I think that lit that fire under him. How to get better at that, instead of just being the mediocre WWE with the mediocre guy that had that one WWE championship run against John Cena that didn't really work out too well.
Yeah, it's just like I seriously have to agree with you that ever since that talking smack segment last year, was it last year or this year? I forgot.
It might have been last year.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Yeah, just like ever since that point, you look at how Daniel Bryan lit that fire in him, and you look how the Miz has been. You just go, what did he do specifically that made him just all of a sudden just go, I just gotta just let myself just let everything flow out and don't shut up about it.
Well, I think part of the reason why the Miz became so successful in that, I don't think he knew he had it in him, was that Talking Smack was not a scripted show. I mean, it had a format.
Yes, it had a format,
but it wasn't a scripted show. It was an off-the-cuff promo show, and it sort of brought you back to those times when promos were off the cuff. You had some talking points, you might have had some stuff to deal with, but it was really a back and forth.
Like, it was like one of those old school, like, remember the backstage WCW interviews when they took the stars to the back and say, hey, so-and-so, how you doing? That was essentially Talking Smack. I mean, like I said, we just talked about we just talked about the Miz. I would throw the Usos hats in there of it helped get them to that next level of developing who they are, if you will.
Sure, because I mean, you can only do so much with the gimmick. And now, while I'm not a big fan of Day One-ish, because I think it's just stupid language.
Yeah. I assume you listened to last week when John was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Dude, I've been saying that since the beginning. Despite that, I understand the frustration, and I think it kind of ties back in with what happened with Emma and the possibility of what's going on with Neville. The possibility that, or the rumor that his release is being drawn out, possibly by Vince, amongst other things. That SmackDown is not only the show that, you know, is not only just the land of opportunity, but also pushes people to that next level. And it sucks that Talking Smack is not on, because that show really helped elevate those people. It did help Baron Corbin a little bit. It helped The Miz a lot. It helped it helped a lot of people that went on that show and were able to do so every week, because really what it was a promo class. There was a BuzzFeed video? I don't remember. It might have been a BuzzFeed video where these two women decided to go to the WWE Performance Center. And they were going to do basically a learning tryout experience. And both of them were as green as gourds, and I knew that was going to happen. I hate the way when it looks like they lock up and it looks like one arm is hanging and the other one is just straight across and all that. That's just form for me. I've never been a big fan of that. But they also had to do promo classes for a week and develop a character. Unfortunately, the judges were Charlotte and Naomi. But it wasn't really a judging thing. It was more. It wasn't like who was better than who. It was just like, can you guys hack the promo, basically? And for first timers, I think they did a pretty good job. They aren't believable by any means. I don't think this is not their day job, folks. Their day job is not to go into a professional wrestling ring. Excuse me, sports entertainment ring. I actually threw that at Shayna Baszler on stream one day.
Oh boy.
It was funny, and she said, "Oh yeah, that's actually right." Because she's on she's paid by WWE now. She's on the NXT house show circuit right now. And so she goes, hey, I'm a professional wrestler. And I said, dude, you work for WWE. You're no pro wrestler. You're a sports entertainer. And she goes, oh yeah. And she goes, oh yeah, right. I forgot about that. I mean, she knew I was joking. But
yeah.
It was just like I threw that at her.
Oh boy. Was there any other news this week now that I'm thinking about it?
No, I think the big news was just people getting fired, and that was it.
Yeah, like we said, we knew Young and what you call were coming, and I'm pretty sure Emma will find a job somewhere in the Impact Zone within 6 months.
I hope not. Not an Impact. Not an Impact. I would rather see her in Japan or in Ring of Honor, honestly.
What's Ami doing in the Impact Zone?
What's who?
Emma spelled backwards.
Oh, Ami doing in the Ami. Oh gosh. Well, what's her real name? Like Tennille something?
Tennille. I forgot.
Tennille something? I don't remember.
Let me check real quick.
Captain and Tennille, some shit like that. I don't know. No, I wish her the best of luck. I really hope that she gets in there. I think she needs some time away from the business.
Yeah, Tennille Dashwood.
Dashwood. I think she really does need some time away from Raw. I think Raw was just a bad fit for her. I don't remember if she was on SmackDown or not. But I think what really soured it was the whole Emelina thing, which was stupid. And it was fortunate enough that WWE was able to recognize that as well, but it was kind of too little too late, because now what the hell are you going to do? Because they can't think of anything. Yeah,
it's just been the story with WWE is that they can't think of anything at all.
Well, and and of course I got to quote former best friend of Jim Cornette, Kenny Bolin. Fire the fucking writers!
I'm with you. Seriously,
but although from what I've heard, I may not be correct. But from what I've heard, it's a pretty high turnover in terms of the writing staff.
So maybe they have been firing the writers, and
maybe they have been firing, and they're still not hiring the right people.
Okay, so from what we're saying is that they get rid of people, but they're hiring people that have absolutely jack shit.
Well, it's going to take a while before you can start getting like I don't know where Adam Pearce is. I really don't know. I think Adam Pearce would do a good job. Because I mean, there are some people that can take things and run with it. The one thing I think one of the few people that was able to get away with what they were able to do when he was able to when he was given the reins and ran with it was Kevin Owens. I think he was probably one of the only people that was able to do that because he is that charismatic. Despite being an overweight, non-jock looking type, he can talk and he can run with a title. Cornette proved that in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
When they put the title on him for a year at Ring of Honor, they proved that he could do that. Cornette was just pissed that he wasn't willing to follow directions. Well, apparently he's willing to follow directions for a big enough paycheck.
Yeah, when you get a big enough paycheck, you'll follow directions. Quick thing she did. Emma, well, under her normal name now, Tennille Dashwood, did put a quote. Did have a comment about her release. She says, "I feel fortunate to have the most amazing family, friends, and fans in the world. I'm excited for the future. The best is yet to come." This is under her actual normal Twitter profile.
Yeah.
Instead of the WWE one, which apparently has been all but scrubbed.
Yeah. And like I say, I don't think she blames the talent. And she's been there for 5 years.
Yeah.
But I don't think she blames the talent. I honestly don't think that she blames upper management. I think she just made an enemy out of
sadly the wrong people.
The wrong people. And unfortunately, those people, I feel, are full of themselves and don't know what the fuck to go on with in terms of writing. Man, remember the shit that was going on with Road Dogg?
Yeah.
Notice how that kind of went away quickly?
Well, I remember Road Dogg, they were doing an interview of Road Dogg on the WWE's YouTube page about talking about, ironically enough, the WCW invasion.
Yeah. Well, we also can't forget that the WWE, I think, is also trying to send messages to other people.
Yeah, true.
It is true.
With Jimmy Jacobs gone, whom I had no idea Jimmy Jacobs was there in the first place.
I had no idea Jimmy Jacobs was a wrestler until
he showed
up on ROH.
I had no idea who Jimmy Jacobs was. But if it helps that he's making money by leaving and going back to what he likes doing, go for it. I'm not gonna stop them. I'm not gonna say, stop doing what you do just because you work for the biggest company in the world, for the biggest wrestling company in the world. Excuse me, sports entertainment company in the world. But I think it'll light a fire under people. I think you're going to see a lot of people leave the organization in a way that will surprise the WWE audience. And you're going to see some people come into WWE knowing that they got to show how confident they are in what they do. I think Triple H is a very good key, has the eye for talent. I think he has the right idea in terms of bringing talent in. I hope that he is able to find the right people to
push that talent.
No, and not just to push the talent. Exactly.
Yeah.
To push that talent. We need to be able to come up with the storylines that are necessary to have that kind of talent. Because they really do have some of the best talent in the world. They really do. Right now, there's still a rumor running around with the Good Brothers because both Good Brothers have actually scrubbed the WWE mentions on their official WWE Twitters.
But they did have photos recently of their current trip in London, and they look happy. So that's conflicting reports.
So hopefully,
I'm with you on that. It's like I'm not really sure. When I heard about this news, I was like, ooh. oh, please don't leave. We kind of need you right now.
If anything, they should just go to SmackDown and probably get a much better chance at the tag team titles.
I agree with you on that. It's because these guys, they deserve to be on a place that actually uses their talents. And I think that's part of the biggest problem we have with, it's not really WWE in general, well, really it is, but it's also Raw has that bigger problem than anything else because they just don't know how to properly use talent. And that's been the biggest problem for me, is that when I watch Raw, I expect some good stuff. It's all I see are just moments. Well, I'm not hearing I see SmackDown as I'm watching a story happen. Why can't we just get stories to move forward instead of just, ooh, this thing happened?
Well, I think it's because they're looking at things episodically. They're not looking at things, or they're looking at things as self-contained episodes rather than story arcs.
Episodically. I guess because, well, I'm sitting there thinking about you do have at least one wrestler on the SmackDown running team, Road Dogg.
Well, yeah, that's why I need to know who the staff is on
Raw. Yeah, because I don't know if they have any wrestlers or anyone with wrestling experience other than Jimmy Jacobs, who, well, we know no longer works there.
Hell, he was the one who gave Jericho the list of Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was that, but it also honestly, I think the list of Jericho is something that while Jimmy Jacobs came up with it, but Jericho made it his. You can because honestly, the list of Jericho is really stupid if you think about it. It's a clipboard. That's all it is.
Hey, it just screams, you just made the list.
You just made the list. Well, what the fuck list is this? But because he's Chris Jericho, this is a man that can get a clipboard over, okay?
He got a scarf over, for Christ's sake.
He got a scarf over. He got a light-up jacket over. He got a clipboard over. He got a friendship over, and he got the breakup of that friendship over.
If there isn't already a spot on the Hall of Fame with Chris Jericho's name on it, just waiting for the day he officially retires, I don't know what's wrong with WWE.
What is the most recent thing that Jericho got over? A cruise ship?
Also, it's just Jericho is just very charismatic and knows how to make things work.
Yeah.
He can, again, like you guys are talking about, he made a clipboard, a fucking piece of particle board.
He not only made it work, he actually made it into a merchandise.
Which you can buy. It's a metal case, which is actually kind of a nice thing because
no. He got the metal. He got the nice sales clipboard. You know, the big one with the insides and the stuff. He got the big one. What WWE Shop Zone is selling is a $10 clipboard that you can get from Office Depot with the words "The List of Jericho" spray painted on the back, and they're selling that for $25.
So it's essentially the Michael Jordan of clipboards.
Yes.
Well, that's just great.
Yes, but again, it got over. I mean, I still need to get my I still need to get the with Superman Thetharo over T-shirt over. But I mean, sometimes you just come up with ideas that work, and I mean that the list of Jericho was one of those. You couldn't. Who'd have thought, you know, Chris Jericho getting a clipboard, a clipboard over.
That's the power of Chris Jericho.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it is. By the way, I was just looking up. Apparently, you know, we were talking about the whole Jinder Mahal against AJ Styles next week. There's possibly speculation as to why this is happening, because it was supposed to be for the pay-per-view Night of Champions.
Because they know that Lesnar's going to murderize Jinder.
Well, it could be that too, but here's what they put up. It's possible either Jinder is hurt or WWE decided that Lesnar versus Styles is a stronger pay-per-view match.
I kind of agree with it, though. That means they have to replace Styles on the SmackDown team.
That would, but also here's another thing. If Styles doesn't win the title, the match was most likely done as a ratings ploy. Even though this week's SmackDown Live did a low ratings due to being on Halloween and against Game 6 of the World Series. Also, I want to say this: congratulations, Astros, for winning the World Series.
Boo! No.
Here's what their rating was for this week for SmackDown. Are you ready for it?
All right.
2.119 million.
That's actually not bad.
That's not bad considering it was 1, Halloween, so a lot of kids were still out trick-or-treating, and 2, like you said, Game 6 of a very tight World Series.
Compared to last week where it was 2.699.
Yeah. Again,
that's average.
They lost 500,000 viewers, most likely in the states of California and Texas, to watch probably one of the closest World Series we've had in about 10 years.
Also, I just want to say this too. Just a reminder for people where Survivor Series is this year. Houston.
Yeah, so that's going to be big too.
Yeah,
of which Triple H has already said, I'm bringing this title belt with me.
It's one of those things where it's just like, it's Houston. Houston had the Hurricane Harvey. Houston Astros just win the World Series. All things are falling in place for this. I'm just like, what the hell are they going to do? They have to make this damn show special for the fact that this whole event happened to the city and the state over the summer, and now you have this big celebration. You better damn well make this a good showing and have the entire, and I mean the entire baseball team there. You better show something.
Now remember,
when is Survivor Series?
The 19th.
19th.
Now remember, we do have one more title match coming up. It will be next week. It will be Benjamin and Gable finally get their tag title match against the Usos. This is the first time I don't want Shelton Benjamin to win. I have nothing against Shelton. I want him to win the championship. I want him to be successful. This is the one time it's like, I kind of want you to lose just because I still see a much better match in the Usos versus the Shield than the Shield versus Benjamin and Gable.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those times. I don't think because Gable and Benjamin, that's a fight on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're not going to switch the titles that quickly. I don't think. If they're going to do it, and it would be stupid to do so. But if they're going to do it, they're going to have them held it for like a week or two, and then
and then have the Usos win it back, or more likely just to keep Benjamin and Gable eligible. Some shenanigans is going to happen that allow the Usos to keep the titles, but make Gable and Benjamin look like, oh well, they could have won if X, Y, and Z. Or Gable and Benjamin go get caught cheating or do something.
Yeah, because I just remembered we got 2 weeks. 2 weeks for that to happen. So, oh man, the 14th, we just got to watch out and see. Okay, so how are they going to fuck this up?
I got plenty of ways to fuck
it up. We can think of plenty of ways to fuck some of this shit up.
Oh yeah,
I could think of one exact way to do that. Hire Vince Russo.
Oh, the guy who cries that every single show sucks this week because he's not writing it.
Oh, I found out something.
What's that?
So remember when I went to Bar Wrestling 5 and I got that shirt, that shirt from Rosemary?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of my good friends who is also on my little video game podcast called Casual Gaming Veterans every Sunday night.
Yes, our good old friend Kazi.
Kazi's a huge fan of Rosemary, and I said to her through Kazi that because Kazi wanted to know, he said you should come up to Colorado and wrestle there. And she goes, if there's ever bookings over there, I'll take them. Well, Kazi did some research. And found out that there is, in fact, an independent wrestling promotion in Colorado. It's booked by Vince Russo.
Oh.
And we wonder why people like Brian Cage aren't on that show. They're making better money elsewhere, or Willie Mack, or Jeff Cobb.
He probably just they probably just all looked at it as like, wait, who's writing this? Yeah, I'll be going over there.
Oh, shit. And I'm sitting here going, Bolin, what the hell's wrong with you?
I think the only reason I listen to Vince Russo's podcast is for Bolin and freaking Vito.
Well, and Bolin, you know why Bolin did what he did?
Why?
Why Bolin is on the Vince Russo side of things now?
I assume just to try to put an end to the Russo Cornette feud once and for all. Good luck, but anyway.
I think Well, here was the thing. Apparently, or at least allegedly, he was part of the impetus for Vince Russo putting out the restraining order.
Really now? Because I heard their friendship came to an end, but I never got a chance to see the research of what actually broke it.
Now here's the thing. And this is first of all, if we were to boil down Vince Russo to titles, and I mean like titles, not adjectives, like titles, what would you label him as?
One hit wonder?
He's had a couple hits, but you know.
Okay,
I think
good start, bad finish. I'll be fair. A lot of Vince Russo stories have a decent start, and then once you get to chapter 2, it goes straight down.
Crashes and burns.
Yeah.
Based on a lot of the history that I've heard about Vince Russo, the biggest word that comes to mind about him is con man.
Oh right, how he conned WCW, how he conned Dixie Carter, how he tried to con freaking Anthony.
Hell, how he conned Jim Cornette out of money for making a video about the Midnight Express.
Oh yeah,
it goes that far back. I mean, and
how he tried to con Spike TV and Destination America, one of which got TNA kicked off of. Go ahead.
Yeah, he conned another friend of his out of his own wrestling radio show. At the time, and if there was a good fit for Vince Russo, in all honesty, it is Kenny Bolin. Kenny Bolin, I don't know if he shared some of the stories that he shared on the Jim Cornette Experience as he has with Vince Russo.
Well, I don't listen to every single Russo podcast. I just listen to the Raw ones just to get a laugh while I sleep.
But the double your money back meat guarantee scam story is always one that comes to mind.
Yeah, because Cornette told that story already.
Yeah, well, he got Kenny to tell it, which of course, you know, adds a certain kind of flair to it. But Kenny, and if you talk to anybody that's been around Kenny Bolin, it's like there is no character Kenny Starmaker Bolin. That's Kenny, and I think that there was a genuine scare for Bolin because he was associating Russo at the time. But when Cornette put out the promo where he said, look, this is the only way we're going to meet, you know, no weapons, back alley, no cameras, no nothing. Yada, yada, yada.
Like no guns, no knives, no cops. That one.
No cops. Yeah, that one. And I'm sitting here going, basically Cornette said, this is the only way we are going to meet, and basically said that this is never going to happen. Basically, with that promo, he said this is never going to happen.
Yeah, because for it to happen, Russo has to agree that
to all of these ridiculous things, which he would never agree to.
So basically said, I am going there to get into a fight, and I don't know what's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah, exactly. And then there's the restraining order. And I'm sitting here going, Russo just did 90% of the work for Cornette.
Yeah.
Russo just spent his own money to further solidify that this wasn't going.
Like, he spent his own money, he spent his own time to go to the police and explain all of this.
And go to the fucking courthouse to get this going. And I'm sitting here going, you're a moron.
Meanwhile, all Jim Cornette has to do is sit back at his nice little home and collect royalty checks from WWE and not care.
Not care, and he's not going to care.
And
the funnier thing about it is and I know we're off track, but that's okay.
We've been off.
It's like it's funny because you hear Russo complaining, oh my genius, oh this, oh that, if only I were brought into WWE. Who's been on 2 WWE programs in this year now? 2 more programs in WWE. 2 more programs in WWE.
He's been in the Hall of Fame. He's been on table for 3. He will
That's just WWE. That's
just WWE. He will be on the Flair 30 for 30 coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but that's ESPN. That's not.
But that's with the help of WWE.
I mean, look at that. I mean,
that solidifies it even more because it's like, okay, now Cornette's on a major network talking about one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Yeah. Hi, John.
Oh, John's here?
See, John, you finally noticed I'm here.
Well, I'm not looking.
I saw you pop on like 2 seconds ago.
I'm not looking at the what you call it. I'm looking at the Twitch stream.
You guys are breaking in and out. You know that, right?
We are.
That may not be us.
I got a gigabyte connection, fucker. That ain't me.
Then how come I'm hearing you fine? How come I'm hearing Ty fine? How come I'm hearing?
Yeah, we're all hearing each other fine.
Ty fine.
He said he's hearing Ty fine.
Oh.
Yeah, we're all hearing each other fine. And I have a hardline connection, so if anyone's breaking up, I'd be the first to know this.
I have no idea.
Huh. Interesting.
So, what I miss?
We talked about the Emma release. We talked about a little bit of Raw and SmackDown, the rumored teams.
Hold on a second. I'm going to try switching to my phone.
Okay.
That works better. I'll be right back.
And there he goes.
Hey, we got John at least.
Yeah. So I guess while we wait for him to come back, so yeah, Vince Russo. Hello?
We're here.
Okay.
What's wrong, dude?
I don't know. I was waiting for Will to continue. And now he's muted.
Are you taking care of something?
Maybe.
Yoo-hoo!
Well, his mic's off, so... Let's see, what is this? El Patron comments on Paige's status with WWE. In a recent interview with TMC Sports, Alberto El Patron said he has no interest in going back to WWE, but said that Paige is close to return. When asked if she's going back to WWE soon, El Patron said the following. She is. She's getting ready for in Orlando at the moment. She's been there for the last 6 to 7 weeks. It's going to happen pretty soon. I told her to lay low and not talk about it. The Patron says definite that she'll be back and she'll be working weeks and not days. Well, there you go. And now we'll wait for our co-host to come back.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, welcome back. We're wondering what happened to you.
Yeah, the suspend button was being doofy, and then I come back. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
All right, so we covered.
I'm not on the phone. The phone was acting up. Phone couldn't even connect.
That's weird.
Weird.
That is weird.
So yeah, we were talking. So any thoughts on the start of the Fire Sale so far?
On the what?
The release of Summer, Darren, and Emma.
Okay. I don't know really much about Darren Young. Lewis would know more about him. Summer Rae, I have a lot of respect for because she took the high road. She put the marks in her place. She put the marks in her place, and she did it, spectacularly and nice. She told him, like, all you fans talking about, I should have gotten a push, I should have gotten the title. She's like, you're missing the big point. I got to be a superstar. I got to be a diva. She's like, I was a fan sitting front row Monday Night Raw, and I actually was able to become a diva. She said, to me, I've already won. You got to respect her for something like that.
True.
Yeah, I'll go agree with that. The fact that if she was a fan like that and she got a chance to even be in the WWE, hey, more proud of her that she achieved a dream.
Yeah, so that's what she's telling him. Instead of fighting over me, know that I've already achieved my goals.
And then there's the shocker that was Emma.
But of course, there was the whole rumor that she had massive heat with the writing staff.
By the way, Leo Rush is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to that, but you might.
I got to admit, I didn't know why people were pissed off about it until Lewis explained it to me, and it's like, that stupid motherfucker.
I listened to it on Jim Cornette's opinion on it, but introduced the situation more elegantly.
I'm just saying it down to eat, don't mind me. Hold on a second. Chewing break.
No problem.
But yeah, the way Lewis explained it to me, if other people didn't get it like I didn't, was simply, it's like, say if I was the man. Well, he didn't say that in that way, but I'm saying it this way. But it's basically his explanation. It's like, say if you worked at McDonald's and you get fired, and your coworker tweets out, well, I guess that's what happens when you can't hang with McDonald's. You're going to get some heat. So he's basically mocking her for getting fired, basically saying that she didn't have what it takes to succeed in the company. Meanwhile, the guy hasn't even made his main roster debut yet.
He hasn't even made his NXT debut yet.
I would say he's still in the Performance Center.
He's still the Performance Center.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're mocking someone, and yet you haven't even taken your first steps. You might not even get out of NXT before you're right back into independence. So shut up.
Yeah, that
way,
I agree.
This is a guy who basically on his last match on the Independents basically gave a middle finger to the business by no selling a huge spot.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Like this last day before officially starting the E, he took a power bomb off the ladder and through a table. Say again?
Off a ladder and still got up and hit his
finish. Yeah, off a ladder through a table and then popped up like what?
Oh, nothing.
I think in the old days, that would have been a sign to get your ass kicked. Like, okay, we're not playing wrestling anymore. We're playing, I'm going to punch you until you stop bleeding, until my fists start bleeding.
Now, I know Lewis is going to give me shit for this later, and he'll probably try to correct me and say it wasn't like that, but to me it was, so, excuse me for this. That's almost as stupid as Teddy Hart jumping off the fucking cage 3 fucking times when he's supposed to be hurt after a match.
You're talking about the backflips?
Huh?
Are you talking about jumping off the cage and doing the backflips and sticking the landings?
Yes.
Yeah, that yeah.
I was about to say that Leo did was the equivalent if you're playing like NFL football of taking the ball, running all the way to the 1 yard line, looking for the opposing defender, handing them the ball, and then giving the big middle finger to the coach because you know you're getting released the next day.
Well, technically that already happened with the Bears.
I don't think that was intentional.
Remember, this fucking idiot. Actually, I think it happened this season. Actually,
Yeah, it happened this season. He got
stopped at the 1 yard line.
He stopped.
And he got tackled.
He stopped at the 1 yard line to showboat, and now he got tackled. He fumbled the ball.
Oh,
And I thought that Bill's Jets.
You know something?
What's that?
One thing I'm really surprised of, and I know people are going to say it's petty bullshit, but we're talking about internet fans and social justice warriors here. I'm surprised no one's made the big deal about Darren Young getting fired because he was their first openly gay wrestler.
Give it a couple of days. I
gave it a week already.
A good point.
It's been a while, and yeah, no, they're
too busy bitching about something else. I don't know. I don't keep.
No, I don't think Darren Young is not in high enough position to complain about. Is the thing.
And by the way, let's play a game. Let's play who's going to get released next.
Well, we could rule out the Good Brothers for now because so far they seem happy still. Neville, they're trying to stall his release as long as possible.
Neville's not going to get released until Vince says he's done.
And that's actually supposedly a happy picked up from Vince Senior.
Vince Senior.
And the only reason Paige hasn't gotten let go yet is because apparently she has a neck injury.
Well, actually, Reed just posted an article that says that Paige is set to come back any week now. El Patron said that she's back in the Performance Center.
Yeah, and also just to clarify, El Patron said, "Fuck you, WWE, I'm not coming back."
Yeah, he's still bitter because it's Alberto, and he's always bitter.
I can barely hear you guys. I can barely hear you guys for this damn thing. But the thing is, Paige has a neck injury. Like, that's what happens when you're always taking that big dick. You got to bend your neck back and take Big Poppy.
Yeah, but now you think.
I mean,
but now you're comparing El Patron to having something big.
But you know something though. I was talking to a friend of mine who basically knows the same thing about wrestling that I do, and she had a really interesting point. I'm like, you want to know how Paige became a whore? I'm like, how? She's like, ask her mother. Saraya Knight came in as a fucking rat. That's how Julia got in the business. She became Ricky's rat. Ricky trained her, and she became a wrestler. So Paige gets the whore from her mother's side of the family.
Interesting note.
So if you want to know how Paige, fucking Xavier and Brad Maddox and everybody else who Paige fucked in that locker room before Alberto, you want to know how she's good? Her mother taught her.
Oh boy.
It's kind of like, how they used to through the chants at Angle, you suck dick, and he said your mother taught me how. Well, that's what happened with Paige.
I can't even follow.
Now I got that promo stuck in my head.
I can't follow that up with anything.
I don't think you're supposed to.
What else? We talked about a little bit of Raw, a little bit of SmackDown. The current Survivor Series team so far.
By the way, I'm not expecting AJ to go over at all because they've already released the poster, and Jinder and Brock is on it, and of course Super Cena is the referee.
However, there has been something that happened today, John. They are announcing AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal for the title match on SmackDown this week.
Yeah, John just said he doesn't expect AJ to win.
Sorry, I'm losing.
Yeah, we know.
Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, well, they're both heels. Cena's a face. Cena's a free agent, so whose side is he on? And then he's going to cause Jinder the match. They're going to enter a fucking feud, and probably we're going to see Super Cena win the belt at the Royal Rumble.
Well, that's one way to look at it. I just see a murder in progress. As in, when that match plays, I'm just gonna have the Curb Stomp song playing on loop in the background. Because let's be honest, let's all sit down and be honest. What is the odds?
It's pretty much
that Jinder Mahal is going to beat Brock Lesnar.
I mean, y'all see it as champion versus champion. I see it as the battle for Palestine. You got the Jew monster in one corner, and then you got the Arabic in the other corner.
I see it sending poor Jinder to the Lions. Like I said, the only good... Okay, I have a little more interest in Miz versus Corbin after that promo the Miz cut on Corbin on Twitter. And like I said, this is the first time I hope Shelton Benjamin does not win next week, because I actually want to see the Usos versus the Shield.
I got to admit, man, that promo the Miz cut was actually not that bad.
Yeah, he looked, well, as Will said earlier, he looked legitimately pissed at Corbin.
I don't know why people are taking the Enzo so much. If anybody's warming up to me, it's the Miz, because he's been having good matches recently. His promo skills have gotten believable, whereas Enzo's just an annoying prick.
That's actually something we talked about a little earlier. We believe Talking Smack might have been the catalyst for the rise of the Miz.
I don't care what anybody says.
Actually, that's what we said earlier. But yeah, Talking Smack helped make the Miz, and then partially helped make a little bit of Baron Corbin and a little bit of the Usos. That's one show that should have been off the air, or at least found another way to present it to the world.
They could have made it a YouTube show.
But there you go. Make it a YouTube show. Make it a live YouTube show. Like, hey, we just finished SmackDown. Here's Talking Smack live on YouTube. Because it was a rare way to actually see these guys cut a legitimate old school wrestling promo. No scripts, no bullet point, no scripts, just here's a set of bullet points, go.
To me, characters talk. If SmackDown wouldn't have been as good as it is now without Talking Smack, because to me, Talking Smack was character development.
Exactly. It helped propel AJ Styles, Shane McMahon, The Miz, Baron Corbin, the Usos.
When Kevin Owens
practically had a field day on Talking Smack. It's so much to the point where Raw tried their own version of the show.
Mm-hmm. And look how well that turned out.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It's so bad that it wound up killing Talking Smack. Go ahead, John.
The thing with Raw Talk is it's nothing like Talking Smack, because with Talking Smack, it had a wrestler there. And the wrestler helped them with their and they had the wrestler to feed off of them to feed them more lines to develop them. Whereas Raw Talk, you just had, two random people that didn't know shit about character development.
Yeah.
Which was what, Renee Young and that radio show host?
And Sam Rosenberg.
Peter Rosenberg, and I want to punch that motherfucker in the face.
What did Peter Rosenberg do to you?
No, him and Wendy Williams were the two worst things to ever come out of Hot 97.
I can't disagree with Wendy Williams, but what's your hatred for Rosenberg?
She came off a radio show?
Yes, she did.
Rosenberg came off a radio show, yes.
Wendy Williams.
I know Rosenberg did, but Wendy Williams, that shitty ass talk show on syndication that came.
Yep.
So I get to blame New Jersey for something else now. Is what you're saying.
I'm glad Angie Martinez is doing her thing and Wendy Williams' life is crashing, because she tried to cost a fucking Angie Martinez her job so much.
Besides, we in Jersey's already paying for our sins. Our governor's Chris Christie. God, I hope he loses this next week.
That's right. You've got an election.
And it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
How could it get worse? We have Chris Christie. That's like God's middle finger to the rest of us.
Because Bill Murphy's going to get in, and he's an egotistical billionaire just like Trump is.
Maybe it's not too...
Except Murphy's actually going to raise our taxes.
Maybe it's not too late for us to run for governor. Like, what? Vote tie for New Jersey governor, because I'm not Chris fucking Christie. That would probably win me the election right there.
Probably.
Vote Johnny Blaze for New Jersey governor.
Because he's not Chris fucking Christie. Oh, God.
I should run for fucking governor.
Well, it's too late now. We're only about a week before the election. Can't exactly do the paperwork now.
Now I'm thinking about it.
Because in all honesty, you know, I would campaign for the middle class and also for what the hell was I gonna say? And also, I would campaign more for urban areas and also for our children.
I make a hardcore push for education. Like, we're supposed to be one of the greatest. We're supposed to be one of the greatest countries in the world, and our education is this shit. No, we are starting to catch up to the rest of the planet. I want the next generation to be smarter than me, or at least smarter than some of the millennials out there. But this is a wrestling show, not tie bitches about the next generation.
You know what I should?
Because that show will be 5 hours long.
Maybe I should become a professional wrestler and then become governor like 10 years later, like Jesse did.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah.
Or hey, the ongoing off again rumor of The Rock putting his a presidential bid.
He'll never do it.
I know.
He makes more money doing films than he would ever make off the federal government.
Of course, the president.
It's not just that, but Jesse's become so paranoid that he thinks everyone's out to get him.
No, The Rock, not Jesse Ventura.
Oh.
Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, it's been off again rumor that he's putting in a presidential bid. He's not going to go through with it, but the rumor's floating. What else? We also talked about...
Yeah, but that would mean The Rock would have to get married first before he becomes president.
Again.
Andrew Jackson was single. Andrew Jackson was also batshit insane, but he was single. And it probably doesn't help that was also Trump's favorite president anyway. What else we talked about? We also talked about Vince Russo because, well, this is actually the first time I heard the reason why Kenny Bolin and Jim Cornette went their separate ways.
Apparently,
The Rock has to do something. I mean, his Hollywood career is coming crashing down.
Where he's got another movie, a movie that's not going to do that well, Jumanji.
Yeah, neither did Baywatch. Baywatch did horribly too.
You saw that coming, though.
Yeah,
it was like when the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, still, it seems like if it's not an ensemble cast, he doesn't do well.
It was like when it was like that Ghostbusters movie from last year. Everybody saw it coming, but the crew and cast.
Well, that's because I'll tell you what happened with Ghostbusters.
A lot of things that'll make this a 3-hour-long podcast. But go ahead.
I know Lewis is gonna get mad at me, but fuck it. To me, the reason why Ghostbusters failed is because they got 3 unfunny women and Kate McKinnon.
Why would Lou get mad at you? That's the truth.
Because he'll sit there and rant about the director and about how they're all feminist pigs.
No, the director was just as bad.
no, the
Paul
director was just as bad.
Paul Feig had just as much blame. Paul Feig had just as much blame as the bad women.
Well, we call him Paul Fag.
and the way they did Ivan Reichman was just wrong. That's another reason. Like I said, I can sit there and list.
Thank God we're not getting another one.
Well, yeah, because that one did so bad. I say the only, like I said time and time again, if they wanted to do a good Ghostbusters movie, they should have kept the one good female Ghostbuster and said, "This is Egon's daughter," and have it spin off her and Ray putting together a new team. And at the end, Ray finally retiring because he'll be the last. He'll be last of the original cast.
You want to make that movie. You want to make that movie. You want to make Ghostbusters good. You just film it in Newark. There's a bunch of spooks everywhere.
I guess that's it. I guess we talked about everything wrestling wise, unless someone else has something to add.
Oh, God damn it!
What's that?
Fuck me.
What?
No, I took advantage of the Target Buy 2 Get 1 sale.
Yeah.
And I was lucky because because I picked up Assassin's Creed.
What, the Origins?
Yeah, because I bought it at Best Buy and I figured, well, one game's paid for already, so I can just get another one and get a free game. And I got Wolfenstein 2 because I wanted it anyway. And I was, because the copy of Assassin's Creed I got still had the pre-order stuff.
Yeah.
So basically I got lucky on that. But I thought I was going to be lucky with Wolfenstein, no such luck.
Oh, that sucks. Well, why not get... Yeah, oh, that's right. COD just came out tonight, so that's out.
Fuck Call of Duty.
I've been saying that for 10 years.
Tuesday's going to be fucking awesome.
Why? What's coming out?
Xbox One X.
Ah. Like, yeah. I think half my coworkers brought Call of Duty. He's like, why don't you get one? I'm like, dude, I haven't played console FPS since Modern Warfare 3. I would look awkward trying to use a controller to shoot in a shooter again. And since the PS4 version doesn't have mouse keyboard support, no. Plus if I do it, I have to renew my PSN account, so I'd be paying $100. Not right now.
Well, I think that's all the wrestling we got.
Yeah, pretty much. This is turning to geek talk now. So.
And by the way, that Hulk. Thanks, Bruce Pritchard, because that Hulk war bonnet will now be known as the Fist Fucker.
What?
I saw your pitch. I saw your picture on Facebook, but I never knew the story. Tell it.
Basically, because one of the episodes of Bruce Pritchard's podcast talks about, Hulk 88. Okay. And, I actually, because I had a sleep study last night, so I put that on the background. So when I woke up, it was partway through it.
Yeah.
So, he was talking about, the war bonnet, how Vince hated it, and it was just something Hulk came up with to try to get it over. Because, every time Hulk tries to get something over that wasn't Vince's idea, it never works.
Well,
and why did Pastamania just suddenly pop in my head? Anyway.
Yeah. So basically, fucking Bruce Pritchard, and fucking Conrad's like, what do you used to call the helmet again, Bruce? He's like, the Fist Fucker. Oh, by the way, here's another great story that, was also in that same episode.
Go ahead.
The time, I'm sure people have heard about it, but Bruce went into detail about it. The time where Andre the Giant, actually took a crap on Bad News.
I think
on Bad News.
So what happened was, Andre had this prank he liked to do when he did his sit-down splash where he'd fart on somebody's chest. So
yeah. I remember this now. Go ahead.
So Andre wanted to fart. So anybody that watched Storytime with Jake Roberts would know this story. Mm-hmm. So Andre farted, but he had to take a poop. So basically when he farted, he sharted. And what made it worse was Bad News squirming around trying to get away. Trying to get Andre off of him.
Oh,
and Andre laughing so hard. And as Andre's laughing harder and harder, the poop's getting looser and looser. So, Andre's really not in control of his bowels. So, you figure it's like a shower, when you turn it on and then the water runs to the end of the shower. And the more there's water, the more the water runs.
It's the NVIDIA PhysX demo where you just see a big butt and it's just sharding into a bathtub.
It's literally Andre the Giant sharding on somebody and there's poo everywhere.
And with all that, I just remembered one other wrestling thing to talk about. Did you see the War Games rules?
No.
I don't know why they just don't call it something else other than War Games, because that's not War Games. That is not War Games at all. Okay, let's go real quick for anyone's listening. Here are the rules of the old school WCW War Games. 2 men. Now, the War Games is two wrestling rings and a double wide cage. Here's the rules. 2 men enter. Before the match starts, there's a coin flip
Now, mind you, this is teams of 5. We're not going to count NWO Hollywood versus Wolfpack versus Team WCW because that was a clusterfuck all by itself. We're going to go traditional 5x5 team war games. 2 teams of 5. First 2 teams, one member of each team enters the cage. There's usually a coin flip in the back to decide who's next. Tip: it's always the heel team. So in 5 minutes, the team who won the coin flip, they get to send their next member in, giving that team a 1-man advantage for 5 minutes. They rotate back and forth until all 10 men are in the ring, and then it is submit or surrender the match beyond. As in, the only way to win is to force someone to submit or say, I surrender.
Whereas this one is literally TNA King of the Mountain 3 times over with a steel cage.
Oh, jeez.
I'll explain. Here's WWE's War Games rules. This time it's 3 teams, which is why I tried to ignore the triple War Games match that WCW had because it's also a clusterfuck. 1 member of each team starts the ring. The other 2 teammates are in cages around the ring. In 5 minutes, one of the cages open and one team's allowed to leave. 3 more minutes later, another cage opens and another team is allowed to come in. And another 2 minutes, the final team is allowed to come in. And then you can win by pinfall or submission.
Okay, the pinfall or submission, I don't really care about. That's kind of like what? But this sounds like King of the Mountain combined with the Elimination Chamber.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Well, you said King of the Mountain 3 times over, but it was just like, but the cages are involved, right?
3 times over.
Yeah, they have cages involved.
3 shark cages at ringside instead of 1.
Oh, jeez.
Remember, because all 3 teams get a cage.
Yeah, there's a shark cage for each team.
They're really trying to. They're really trying to make use of those fucking shark cages, aren't they?
Did Vince owe some money to the shark cage people and say, fuck it, we're going to use these things as much as possible? We're not going to waste it. We're not going to use this on a one-time only match?
Well, I mean, you can't use it for
Maybe
what
he had a whole bunch
original...
of shark cages in the back.
Yeah,
why get a whole bunch of shark cages?
Like I say, I mean, you can't use the original purpose of the shark cage. We're not going to get Ole Anderson beating the crap out of Precious Paul.
Well, we had Precious Paul in the shark cage, remember?
Well, I know that, but Ole was supposed to beat him up for 15 minutes. That was the whole point.
And then we had Enzo in the shark cage.
Yeah.
And we know how that went.
Didn't we have Jericho in a shark cage?
I believe we did.
So we have now had 5 pay-per-views. Were they all this year? One was.
I think 2 of them were last year.
Were 2 of them last year?
When was Show versus Big Cass?
That was pretty recent. That was maybe like 3 months ago.
Oh, right.
If WWE really wants to shit on the legacy of Dusty Rhodes, why don't they just have, the music playing for the American Dream and all of a sudden have Virgil come out with fucking polka dots? Because it's not like Virgil's doing anything.
Because that would require them to hire Virgil. And I don't. If they just shit can Darren Young, Emma, and Summer Rae, why would they hire a new dead weight in their place?
No, only for one night.
Like I said, why would you hire a new dead weight in their place?
Yeah, well, Virgil needs that fuck money, so.
Yeah, well.
They had. Virgil don't come cheap, even though you can. He tries to hustle you for $60 for a free picture. I'm
about to say, even though I'm pretty sure the 4 of us combined could pretty much put together enough money to book Virgil on a show.
It's well, technically, Virgil's already turned down my offer. I said I'll give you $25 to put me over.
I said all of us, not just you.
And film it for YouTube, and he turned me down.
The fact that he responded says that there's a chance.
Oh, you're a mark. I'm like, you're the fucking mark.
Oh God.
You know?
Yeah, that just came to mind as I was listening to the story and scrolling. I was like, oh right, the fucking rules of WCW of NXT War Games. Because that was like weird. I'm like, okay, it's 3 teams. I understand that they adjust the rules a little, but huh?
I had to fart.
That's interesting. I guess this is a good time to end the show, unless anyone else has something else to bring up.
Because that reading those rules just made me want to fart.
Did they call Vince Russo and say, "Hey, we need some rules for a War Games match. You have 10 minutes."
Even though those motherfuckers have all the War Games matches in a collection on the network,
they put up that guy.
5 minutes to watch a fucking War Games match, you realize, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it.
They saved the rules at the beginnings of every War Games match. For Christ's sakes, they actually put up on their YouTube channel that god awful triple threat War Games match. I'm like, okay. Huh? I'm like, this is the first time I could say with a clean sink, I think the NXT dropped the ball here.
Oh, no shit. But then again, that's the same pay-per-view that has fucking Drew McIntyre defending the NXT belt against a jobber.
Oh boy!
You know? I mean, I think it's Cien Almas he's fighting.
Wait, he's fighting Almas?
I think so.
Yeah, no. Cien Almas is facing Drew McIntyre.
So who's he facing?
He's facing. I should know this, but I know he's facing somebody.
And let me look up the card real quick.
Fucking iPad keeps acting up.
Gosh, I should know this.
No, it has McIntyre versus Almas for the NXT Championship.
Oh yeah, see
at War Games.
At War Games.
That's odd because I thought he was supposed to face him next week.
After his associate Vega helped him defeat Roderick Strong, Almas got aggressive as #1 contender in both his contract signed with the champ and the go home segment.
Because fucking that championship match, that's almost like Hulk Hogan facing Steve Lombardi for the WWE title.
That's happened.
That's happened?
Oh no, it was Shawn Michaels. My bad.
I'm about to say.
All right. McIntyre versus Almas for the NXT Championship. Sane versus Royce versus Moon versus Cross for the vacated women's title. Undisputed Era versus Sandy versus the Authors and Roderick Strong in War Games. Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream, possibly. And Lars Sullivan versus Cassius Ohno. And those are 2 maybe matches. But obviously the big 3 is McIntyre Almas, Sane Royce, Moon Cross, and the Era versus Sandy versus Payne and Strong.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, now that I'm looking at this card, yeah, this kind of the first time they kind of dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm. Fucking NXT sucks now. That's why you don't even watch it.
Well, that's because almost all the good athletes left. Asuka was the last good one.
It's literally almost as if they ran Superstars of Wrestling with all jobbers in 1990. Oh, wait, they did in 95.
I'm like the only 2. There's okay. Let's list out some of the notable people that we know is going to get called up eventually. Drew McIntyre.
I forget it was 95 or I think it was 95 or 96 even. You had Bret the Hitman Hart, I think, main event of fucking In Your House against John, whatever the fuck his name is, that pirate. Jean-Pierre Lafitte.
Oh, Jean-Pierre Lafitte, yeah.
Yeah, they had a fucking feud over somebody stealing Bret's jacket.
Let me list off, at least from this card, who's going to get called up eventually. Drew McIntyre, of course, because he had a comeback. Eventually, we're going to get all of Sanity, including Nikki Cross. Ember Moon someday, once she stops killing people.
Yeah, when she stops hurting people and being a green asshole.
And the author said Roderick Strong.
That woman is so green. That woman is so green. I can literally fry her up and serve her as a side dish for some chicken.
I was about to say you could fry her up and serve her on the side of ham, but there you go. Green eggs and ham.
Okay, let's put it this way. She's so green I could use her for candy apples.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Aleister Black may be in the future. Cassius Ohno, well, it worked for Kevin Owens.
I don't think Chris Hero's ever gonna get called up.
Hey, if something ever happens to Sheamus, would anyone love to see the one night reunion of the Kings of Wrestling?
I'd like to see it, but that's just me.
Yeah. All right, we actually have reached the end of the show. With that bullshitting.
The people that really matter, don't want to see that. I mean,
unfortunately,
these are also the same people. Spoiler alert: it's Bucktooth Beaver. Bucky the Beaver Space Guard. That Brusha Ipana fucker. Yeah, that's Kevin.
The same reason Alicia Fox still has a job.
Exactly. That's why Alicia Fox is the leader of this fucking Raw Survivor Series team.
Which has Sasha Banks, Bayley. I'm trying to remember the other two members.
Nia Jax. Nia Jax is back from her temper tantrum.
Yeah. We also talked. Oh yeah, we did talk about Nia Jax, did we?
Yeah, she's back from her temper tantrum.
Well, I think we were saying earlier that she's in that unique position in which she could do that and not get in trouble because her cousin's The Rock. And the Anoa'i family pull out, there goes Roman and there goes the Usos.
We've seen Hulk Hogan do that in WCW, and look what happened to WCW.
It imploded. Well, a lot of things caused WCW to implode. That was just one of the key factors. Another factor was another Vince, but, well, that man's so full of himself, it's almost sad if you ever listen to his podcast. Anyway.
And by the way, I need to make a quick plug before we end the program.
All right. Plug away.
On November 7th, I know you guys are excited for your Xbox One X's, but if you're wrestling fans, Fathom Events is going to be holding a one night only, The Price of Fame, which is a Ted DiBiase documentary. And that's fathomevents.com or Fandango. Check your local theaters for showtimes. I
think Jake Roberts said it's the one redemption story that's actually better than his, which I still have to.
Because I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see that. I have to try to get there to see that movie.
To be fair, I still have to watch the resurrection of Jake Roberts, and of course I still also want to watch The Price of Fame.
I mean, it seems like from the trailer it might be a little too Jesus-y for some people, but still, it's Ted DiBiase.
It's Ted DiBiase. Even if you're not a holy person, even if you're a straight up atheist, you can watch how bad money can corrupt a man. If not, money and power can corrupt a man.
Somebody can implode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, a few wrestlers who work for WWE now could learn a few things from Enzo.
No, I think the problem with Enzo, let's be honest, is that I think he's too full of himself.
And so is Ted. And so is DiBiase. He'll admit it himself. Ted didn't show it, but he did on the road. That's Ted's whole thing. Like, look, I let the temptation get to me.
True, it's just Enzo's more overt about it. To the point where he got kicked out the locker room. His response. His
actually had the nerve to tell TMZ.
I was just about to say his response to TMZ was, "I got my own locker room now."
He's like, "Oh fuck y'all! I got my own locker room. I don't need you more." That's pretty much what he said.
I'm betting they're waiting for the day Enzo's merchandise drops, and they're just gonna have Cass come back and kill him on the spot.
Dude, that's why they put him on 205 Live. They're waiting for his stock to drop so they can use that against him. And look, Vince McMahon has done a lot of fucked up things in his life and fucked over a lot of people. But goddamn it, Enzo is one that deserves to be fucked over.
Yeah, we were just talking about how Neville's possibly getting fucked over by delaying his release a la Vince Sr. style. Enzo, like I said, they're just waiting for that merch check to start dropping, and then they finally have the reason like, well, pal, your merchandise is as silly as it used to, and
the fucked up part? It's the fucking smarks that are keeping them in business.
How? He can't wrestle. He can't wrestle for shit.
They like his gimmick because these are the same fucking idiots that this guy is a heel, and they're still shouting out the fucking catchphrases with him.
He's a heel.
It's like you're a heel. You do not have you have catchphrases, but the marks aren't supposed to be singing it along with you. I mean, can you imagine in the fucking 80s that the marks were singing along with Rick Rude? What I'd like to have right now.
No, because Root will actually counter them back. He'll probably just pull a "shut up," only I can say something like that. Yeah. Ironically enough, something the Miz used to do when the marks would try to say his catchphrase.
Exactly.
But Enzo goes through the whole spiel anyway.
Except Drew Gulak is now involved, and now he actually spells soft correctly.
Which might be the only way to make Enzo a heel as far as that catchphrase.
When fucking Drew Gulak is more entertaining than Enzo.
Gulak looks so weird without his beard and mustache, though, doesn't he?
Something's wrong.
Because Gulak is doing it like a heel supposed to. He's not making it entertaining, popping, or exciting. He's like, listen, I'm going to say this straight, which the crowd doesn't want.
And by the way, you know, Enzo not being able to talk for those couple weeks was a blessing.
It's like God blessed them with the strep throat.
And also a public service that, you know, gargling a lot of cum does have its consequences.
God.
You know, it's almost like giving a dog peanut butter.
Now, unfortunately, we do have one problem with Enzo as Cruiserweight Champion. Who's going to dethrone him?
Huh?
There's a rumor running around. Running around that it might be Kenta.
What, they're going to get Kenta back?
Good. I hope Kenta kicks the shit out of him.
There's a rumor. I mean, it'll be Hideo Itami, but still, it's
Kenta should give him one kick for every T-shirt he sold.
Oh, jeez.
We want him out of the WWE. We don't want him in a vegetative state.
Actually, that might be an advantage. That might be a good thing.
I mean, it's not like WWE is the Cleveland Browns where they keep somebody for... Oh, wait, never mind. They've kept Paige for that long. I was about to say, at least they're not like the Browns and kept somebody for 3 years that they couldn't use, and I remembered Paige.
Well, remember, they want to keep Paige for that documentary that featured The Rock.
They want to keep Paige just so they could sit there and say, we didn't fire her because she had an injury.
Well, that's kind of WWE's MO. They don't like to pull a WCW. They don't like to fire you while you're on the injured list. Because let's remember, a lot of people complained about that kind of dick move that Eric Bischoff would pull.
But you know something though, fucking, you know, you already had WWE's stupid for bringing Paige back because You already had one outbreak of a bad disease with the mumps. You bring her back, you're gonna have a venereal disease epidemic.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
And I'm sitting here going,
because remember, kids, back in the 70s, VD was an epidemic, and it'll be again if Paige goes back to Raw.
What? She's going to affect the entire women's division?
Well, Alberto's not there.
Alberto says he's never going back.
Exactly. So she can literally do whatever she wants, and he won't know the better.
I would say whatever happened to True Love, but that's not love.
No, True Love is in rehab. They're in rehab right now.
You want to know what happened to True Love? In all honesty, True Love, the True Love gone the way of the dodo. I mean, people see it as a fucking investment rather than a relationship now. So, I mean, that's why the divorce rate is so high in this country, and that's why most people usually get divorced after a year or two.
If you want the worst example, look at Hollywood.
I mean, fuck,
the divorce rate.
You had Kim Kardashian, who's married for 90 days, and you had Britney Spears, who was married for 72 hours.
I would say the divorce rate's 99.9% in Tinseltown.
I couldn't tell you. I don't pay attention. The hell do I know? I'm a statistic also. I'm part of that statistic also.
Hey, at least you're part of that statistic. I can. My love life is a destiny of failure. Is a testament to failure.
It's like I said, people tell me, people love to say, "Oh, you have no love life." It's like, yeah, I'm crying into my $100 bills. I can go out whenever I choose and not have to have some fucking pain in the ass hold me back and say, "You can't go out tonight, honey," because I. But yet it's fine for her to go out. Like, I've got a girls' night out.
My thing is this: I probably should be ending the show since we're not going to be talking about wrestling for the next 10 to 15 minutes. So, have a good night, everyone.